If you don't know, Jake is a YouTube creator, Emmy award-winning YouTube creator, and host of the YouTube education series "Can You Survive the Movies?" And we're just going to be talking about how he's been using FLIR over the last few years, just on his channel, and yeah, Jake, how's it going?
Oh, Vache, it is going swell. How are you doing, my boy? My
You know,
my sweet child.
there's nothing like retranscoding video clips, right? 15 minutes before a live stream. I'm sure you have some experience with that, maybe.
But that's the thing. You love living on the edge, and I appreciate that about you.
That's how we
It's
roll.
like a
That's
nick
how
of
we
time situation.
Yeah, that's how we roll. And this is going to be the first year in 2 years now where Jake is well, none of us are going to CES, but Jake's been a staple of hosting and emceeing some of our activities at the Consumer Electronics Show and kicking off the year. So I'm a little sad to not be kicking off the year with you, Jake, this time around, but I guess I'll get over it. That's why we're here, right?
We're ending the year together, and that's
We're-
something. That
That's
has to
something.
mean something, Vache.
It
Right?
does.
I think so.
So for folks who don't know System, and by the way, I do have the trailer queued up, so we can go to that. But get there with it, who's maybe just joining us.
For sure. Well, this is actually you've fulfilled one of my bucket list dreams where I get to cue a clip like on a late night show. So, the trailer that you're about to see is for the show Could You Survive the Movies? And the show premise is exploring the science that we see in some of our favorite films, be it Back to the Future or Men in Black or Die Hard. There are so many moments, so many scientific elements that are worth exploring. So why not do it? Let's recreate some of the moments that we see in those films and dissect it accurately and scientifically to see if you could actually survive those moments that you see in your favorite movies. But the trailer will do much more explaining than I can. Roll the clip, Vache. I'm Jake, and I have two loves in my life: science and movies.
Fire in the hole! It wouldn't actually look like it does in the movie.
The punch would go right through you.
The particles orbit around the accelerator.
What could go wrong?
We have nothing to fear.
Oh, well, that's great.
Or do we?
It's about celebrating someone else's creation and then celebrating the science behind it. We want to see if you could survive the movies.
So obviously, the clip is a little. The show is out. It's been out a year. We're hitting the 1 year anniversary of the show, and I think the response has been really good. Right? Like we're coming on season 2,
people
right?
don't hate it, so that's good. That's really my barrier is like, do people hate it? They didn't. Success. But yeah, we're working on season 2 right now. We're in pre-production, and we'll start filming in January of next year, and then it should come out in June of 2021.
Very cool. Yeah. And, the first time we really worked together was actually, Could You Survive the Movies? And maybe an earlier iteration was Could You Survive Home Alone? I guess I actually don't know. Is that where this started? Did it start with Home Alone? Is this something you always wanted to do and you just were able to do it with Home Alone first?
Good question. I mean, that was kind of the impetus for it. I mean, I've had Could You Survive episodes before, but that was the first one focused entirely on a singular film. And that was made possible because of, FLIR allowing me to use the wonderful equipment that you guys have and some other people that were very generous with their time. And from there, I think I kind of realized like, oh, this is a format. I didn't intend for it to be a format, but after editing the video and like kind of playing it back, I was like, oh, there's so many movies that we could do this for. And so I took that idea to the YouTube Originals team and they liked it. And so we made Mad Max, which you were there for. And then we made a whole bunch more and are continuing to make more, which is, I'm just thrilled. I mean, if I could be sentimental for one moment, one, I'm very appreciative of the time that people like you and FLIR have given to this show, but also just the fact that people enjoy it and the fact that YouTube is willing to put money behind making it. That people care that much about educational content is incredibly meaningful to me. So I'm very honored by that. So that's very nice. Sorry, sentimentality over.
No. Well, what I really appreciate about the show is, it tells the story. It tells the scientific stories in a way where you're really spending a lot of time on the science and you're using a lot of technology, whether it's the technology that FLIR creates or other means of science to make it more fun. It marries those two things together really, really well, and I think it makes for something people learn from and something people are entertained by, and that's why we like being a part of it. One thing I was going to say is just for the folks watching, Miranda is watching your comments. If you've got questions as we're going, just flag them for Miranda, and we'll take them as they come. But just to get in the holiday spirit, Jake, and since we just talked about it, I do have the Home Alone scene. I know it's an older video, but it's a fun one. Should we play that clip so people get a taste of what we're talking about? A little taste of
nostalgia. It is funny. Sorry, real quick, but when you say it's old like that, I actually was watching it again the other day, and it's been 4 years, which is wild because I look at it and it doesn't feel that long ago. But I think that's also part of, this is dumb, but I was thinking about it in terms of technology. Like, it was recorded in 4K, it's uploaded in 4K, so it still looks modern. And just like Home Alone, I hope the video will stand the test of time. But yes, let's show a clip from it. I'm just talking for no reason. We can roll a clip. Clip, please save me. Roll the clip much.
Vsauce! I'm Jake, and my parents have left me home alone, which is scary because I'm only 8 years old. But the silver lining is that being 8, I have an intuitive understanding of thermodynamics, mechanical engineering, and just physics in general, which is good because there have been a lot of robberies in my neighborhood. So to protect myself, I've recreated some traps from the movie Home Alone. Now, there have been videos and articles about this before, about how damaging the traps would be, but nobody's recreated them physically and tested them on a human body, or in our case, a ballistics dummy. So we're going to test 2 traps that I've always found to be fascinating: the red hot door handle and paint can to the face. As a bonus, even though this isn't a trap, the crowbar to the chest, because that just has to be dangerous. That is, if you even made it past the first 2. Oh, I think I hear the bandits coming towards the house. I'm gonna go get ready. Now we need to heat up a door handle to such a literal degree that it glows red, becomes incandescent. That is the emission of electromagnetic radiation from a hot body that makes it visible. In the film, they use an electric barbecue lighter placed on the interior side of the door, and the heat then transfers from the brass knob through the steel spindle and into the exterior knob. One thing to consider before we start: the object that is holding the hot door handle. The door is metal, but the interior of it is wood and foam. So if I had to hypothesize what happened, if we heat the knob close to 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, the temperature at which it will glow, then the metal door will start to warp, and the foam and wood inside will combust into flame, which wouldn't be good. But there's only one way to know for sure. After 30 minutes, the interior door handle got to around 900 degrees Fahrenheit. The external doorknob, only about 65 degrees Fahrenheit. It's taking a very long time. So to speed things up, we're going to use this map gas torch to get things a little bit hotter, a little bit more quickly. The exterior doorknob only got to about 115 degrees Fahrenheit, which still wouldn't be that pleasant to touch, but wouldn't do that much damage. The interior doorknob, however, we got up to a total temperature of 1,400 degrees Fahrenheit, which is incredibly hot. To test how badly it would burn, instead of using a hand, we used pork belly. which has similar skin thickness, and held it on the door handle for 3 seconds like in the film. And the burn results were pretty similar to the movie and pretty severe. But more importantly, what did happen, which I thought would, is that the interior of the door lit on fire. The wood, the foam burned, the metal right here warped. We actually could see some fire coming out of the doorknob. Over hours, you could probably get the exterior doorknob to heat up, probably not hot enough to actually glow, to be incandescent. But the interior doorknob definitely would get there over a long enough period of time. Let's move on. And it should be noted that with this going for hours, the door would most likely totally light on fire, which kind of defeats the entire purpose, because then the villains could just walk right in. So, you know.
If you're just joining us, we're live with Jake Roper of Vsauce3, and we're talking about his Emmy Award-winning series, Could You Survive the Movies? So someone actually asked in the comments, Jake, can we get a feature length Could You Survive the Movies? Is that in the mix?
That has always been a dream of mine, was to do one. I remember when we were first talking about this, when we pitched the idea to YouTube and they wanted to do a pilot. The original idea was that it would be a special, and it was going to be like an hour and a half long. And my initial pitch was I wanted to do the Lord of the Rings, and each 30-minute section would be a different film from the Lord of the Rings. So total an hour and a half. So I would still love to do that. YouTube, if you're watching, give me that cheddar so I can make an hour and a half long episode.
So another question we had too, so, to talk a little bit, looking ahead, what can you tell us about season 2? Can you give us a sneak peek of anything? Probably not. I'm pushing my luck.
I mean, I don't think I can say specifics. What I can tell you is, I think I don't think I'm giving away too many spoilers here. Season 2, I feel like I'm going to be on top of the world. I'm going to be the king of the world, one might say. And I'm very excited about it. You kind of get that adrenaline rush, like being chased by a dinosaur. That's how I kind of feel. It feels like when working on the show that I'm in like a fantasy land. Like I'm in this weird, magical, wizarding world, which is very exciting. But I can't really go into specifics or give you exact movies. So I don't feel comfortable doing that.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we won't press our luck. By the way, I want to name the people that asked the question. So the first question about the feature length film was from Isaac, and then
Isaac.
Yeah, and then the last question was from Molly.
Molly.
Yeah, not a plant there at all, but a good question. Thank you, Molly. Yeah. So the other thing that I wanted to highlight too, you one of my favorite things watching some of the episodes is, some of the familiar faces that pop up. There are other educational YouTubers, other tech YouTubers, and that's always fun. And one of my favorites, and maybe I'm a little biased, but was our friend Craig Beals, who's from Invisible Labs, which is a FLIR Science series that we have, popped up in Could You Survive Back to the Future? So that's really fun. I mean, it's like checking out cameos, right? Like that. I don't even know where I was going with that. I know where I was going. I have the Back to the Future clip, but maybe before we play that, should we give away something, or should we maybe ask a trivia question and give away a FLIR 1 Pro now and then play the clip? I'm going to leave it up to Jake.
Oh boy, this is a lot of weight on my shoulders. Well, I'm just going to say, just to backtrack, I thought you were going to say that one of your favorite cameos was Austin Evans.
Oh,
because I heard that he was in the chat, but I guess it wasn't. So
can I change my
take
answer?
that? No, it's too late. He heard it. He already knows this is live.
I'm really
can't
sorry,
edit it.
Austin. I'm really sorry.
But I appreciate you, Austin. You're a good lad. Craig Beals, yeah. I mean, we should do a giveaway. I think that is why people are here. They're not here for me. They don't care about me. They're here for products.
FLIR stuff. Free FLIR stuff.
Let's give them what they want.
Well, so this is the way I thought I'd do this. And you've been to CES. We loved playing some clips. We love clips. This is a clip show. And I've got two sort of guess what this is clips, and I thought that'd be a good way to do it. So let me play that clip, and then we'll come back and have people guess. So
I love that. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Give me 1 second because I'm doing both things here, and that's always fun. All right, here we go. Clip coming up. All right, so that when I first saw that clip, I had no idea what that was. Jake, I don't know if you remember, we have used that clip before live at CES, so
I know what it is.
You know what it is.
But I already have a FLIR 1 Pro, so I'm not going to enter. I'm not gonna...
That's right. I didn't say what we were giving away. The first giveaway is a FLIR 1 Pro.
Allow me to show it off.
Oh, yeah.
This is my CS skills. It's the only skill I learned while there. This could be yours, a $399 value.
It's a good value. And just for eligibility, you know, we're giving out a code in our online store, so you do have to live in a place that we ship to. I'm waiting for Miranda to tell me a name. While I'm waiting for that, it is $399. It's compatible with Android and iOS devices. All right, we've got a winner. Username Perpetual Duck on YouTube got it first. So congratulations, Perpetual Duck.
Good job, Duck.
Please, I guess, email us at social@flir.com and we'll get you the prize.
How will they prove that they're Perpetual Duck?
We're gonna have to figure that one out offline. and please don't sign us up for spam, which is inviting us to sign up for spam. So I said that knowing that. Anyway, so why don't we play a quick clip from the Back to the Future Could You Survive the Movie? It's one of my favorites, and we'll talk a little bit more because I don't know if you have a favorite FLIR experiment. This is my favorite FLIR experiment, so let us check that out.
Huh. Everything we need is already set up.
Oh, hey, what are you doing?
I was gonna ask you the same thing.
I'm just working on some amateur weather experiments.
Yes, that's right, because you become a meteorologist.
I like that. Meteorologist, Craig Beals.
Oh, why do I keep messing with the future?
Jake, we're running out of time.
All right, Doc, I think we're all set. Time circuits are on. Put my date in, and I guess I'll see you in a little bit.
And I'll see you in 30 years.
You know, gotta say, it's all worked out pretty great.
Great Scott!
Doc, what do we do?
Don't worry, I got this, guys.
Oh, it's Craig.
I'll just grab the two ends and hold them together like Doc Brown did in Back to the Future.
Craig, I would not do that. That is an extremely bad idea.
Why? Because I'm holding an uninsulated cable and I don't have insulated gloves. So the electricity is going to flow through this wire and into my body and down into the ground, because electricity is always looking for the path of least resistance to get into the earth, which means I'll likely be electrocuted, and very little, if any, of the electricity will actually make it over to the car.
Yeah, that's actually exactly right.
Do you think Craig's okay?
I mean, that much electricity coursing through somebody's body is definitely not good. But to find out exactly how bad it would be, we happen to have a machine to test just that. It takes an electrical current of 100 to 200 milliamps to be lethal. That's just 0.1 to 0.2 amps. And this 6-meter tall Tesla coil generates an electrical current of 30,000, which happens to be the average amperage of a lightning strike. And yes, people have been struck by lightning before and survived, but that's generally because it's a branch of the lightning which travels either through the ground into them or strikes them from tens of meters above. But what Doc Brown experienced was a full-on lightning strike, traveling down that cable into his body. But what would have happened to his body? Well, to demonstrate, we have a discarded piece of pork to see what happens to your skin, a ballistics dummy to see what happens to your insides, and me, except I'm not actually part of this demonstration because electricity is incredibly dangerous. I can't stress that enough. Please do not play with electricity, which is why we are going to be standing over here, over 10 meters away. Let's do it. Reaches the wire touching our Doc Brown stand-in's hand, that wire turns into the fourth state of matter, plasma, because that bolt of lightning is extremely hot, as much as 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun, meaning that your hands holding that wire would be burned to the point of not being recognizable. And once the electricity comes into your body and goes through your arms, it enters your chest. Your blood vessels would burst due to the heat and electrical discharge, your heart would stop, and your internal organs would burn. Also, if this dummy was wearing clothes like Doc was in the movie, the fabric would have immediately ignited, engulfing your body in flames. Oh, and if the electrical current had entered your skull, it would cook your brain. Cool.
You know, I've noticed you've got a thing where you give a bunch of detail. Is that a patented Jake Roper thing? I don't know. Weird question.
I'm trying to make it one, then we can put it on t-shirts.
Yeah, the Tesla coil experiment was personally, I mean, there was a lot of fun experiments that you guys did, but I think that one was just so visually striking with a thermal camera, just because it's so hot. I think the Mad Max experiment with the, someone blowing up and does the heat affect them? Like that any explosion looks great in thermal, but the Tesla coil was something I was really excited to film. Was that your favorite experiment? What was your favorite experiment?
I think from that season, that one was probably my favorite for a number of reasons. One, and you know this when we went into it, like we just kind of showed up there at this warehouse. We didn't know what was going to happen. We had no idea. And the guy who built it also had no idea because he had never done this before. And we never captured it with thermal. So that was really exciting. I'm glad that the footage actually looked really cool. But just watching that clip, it reminds me of, and I think this is why maybe we all like it the most, because we didn't know we were going to be able to film at Universal Soundstage, where they actually filmed Back to the Future. That happened at the last minute. And when I was watching those clips, that was filmed at like 3 a.m. And then when we filmed the Tesla coil, I don't know if you remember this, Vache, but that Tesla coil had to come from Tasmania. So the guy had it freighted from Tasmania back to the United States, and then he had to rebuild it in time for us to then go and film it. And I remember we flew, or you drove to San Francisco. I flew in.
Yeah.
We filmed it, and then we were like, okay, we're done now. We finally finished this episode. That was the last thing we needed. And I was so worth it because we didn't know we were going to get it. So we had a bunch of other options, but I was so happy. And then to your point, Mad Max also is one of my favorites when it comes to FLIR. Because when you watch that footage from the FLIR camera, it looks like just molten lava exploding from the ground. And it's so fascinating because when you look at it normally, it just is like dirt and kind of some flames, but it doesn't look that powerful. But when you see it in thermal, it's like, holy smokes, that is hot. So there you go.
So, question from the chat. I don't know if you heard that. Sorry, there's a slight
I didn't
delay.
know.
If you could safely hit anything with a Tesla coil for the sake of science, what would it be?
I would have loved to do a giant tub of applesauce. Something that would just explode and be really messy. Because the problem is I remember the guy was like, your ballistic something might explode. And I really wanted it to. And it didn't. But he was like, when I've done this with other objects, they just explode. But I feel like something like that probably would have exploded because it would have heated up so quickly. It has to go somewhere. That energy has to go. Right. So it just would have blown up. And that would have been really cool to see.
Yeah. One thing, because I want to give people a reason to go watch the show, so I want to play a ton of clips, and I don't actually have it queued up, so I'm just making excuses. But my personal favorite was there was an experiment you did in Jumanji that was a little bit tough to demonstrate visually, right? Because
yes,
and thankfully we were able, because it was when I think was it eating too much and exploding, and we were able to capture that with the camera, show the air escaping from the stomach, right, in that episode. So there's definitely times where thermal can show you something your eyes can't and make something a lot more interesting. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually really, I think there's a brief fun story behind that one that was like, I reached out to you. I was like, hey, do you happen to have like a filter or a way that the camera can capture gas? And you were like, yes, I do. Here's a video of cow farts. And I was like, perfect. So we were able to actually see the gas that forms in your stomach through digestion.
Yeah.
And that to me was fascinating. Because I think one of the things I love so much about using FLIR in these videos is that we're able to capture things that have generally never been captured before in that way. Everyone's seen slow motion of an explosion. Everyone's seen slow motion of a lightning strike, but they haven't seen a slow motion version of that in thermal. And so that's one of my favorite parts of the series and of working with FLIR is that we get to see things that have never been seen.
Yeah, for sure. So I think, Jake, it's time for another giveaway.
Holy bejesus.
And this is a big giveaway. So this is our new C5. So this came out earlier this year. It's a compact thermal imaging camera. It's got some great connectivity, some great features. It's my favorite new FLIR product. So I believe the retail on that is $6.99. So it's quite the giveaway. But we're not going to make it easy for people. They have to watch every episode of System and come back. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we'll be waiting here live.
We'll be waiting until you're back, and there's a quiz.
See you in 4 hours.
No, so we got another one of those like guess what it is clips. So let's play that and see if they have any guesses. Do you remember?
I actually don't remember what that one is. I think I know.
I don't remember if we used it. I don't know if we used it at CS. So it's kind of a funky clip. It was filmed, as people are guessing, and it was filmed with one of our the cameras that we use on the show, the X6900 SE. So there are research and science cameras. So these cameras are typically used to capture range data, the development of rockets. All sorts of things like that. So we obviously use them in a lot more fun ways, and this is an interesting thing because it's so close. It's very abstract, and you don't really know what it is. So I think we've got a couple guesses. I guess so. Someone guessed a piece of wood breaking, which is very, very close. So Jake, should we give it to them? Because it is wood. It's not what it is, though. It's not the object.
I mean, let's just give it to him. Since we're giving it to him, can I guess what it is? What I think it is?
Yes. Yeah. Richard.
Right,
so Richard wins. Richard Hacker wins.
Good job, Richard Hacker.
Yeah, Richard, please email us at social@flir.com.
And my guess, I might be eating my words after I say this, is it's a pencil snapping.
You are right. That is what it is.
Oh, is it?
Pencil. It is. Yeah. Yeah. So the thing that always trips people up, though, is how molten it looks, but remember, like the scale changes depending on what's in the image. So while it looks really hot, it's actually it's not as hot as an explosion or popcorn popping or anything like that. So so Jake, thank you so much for spending some time with us this afternoon, and we're definitely looking forward to working with you on season 2, and hopefully we've got some good experiments queued up there. And yeah,
there's a really good, actually, can I tease one experiment if that's okay?
Sure.
Because this is where I'm very excited for FLIR being a part of it. There's one, I won't say what movie we're doing. You can probably guess. But there's an episode where I will be I'll be getting very, very close. I don't want to say I'm going to get there because I might die, but I'll be very close to experiencing hypothermia. And I think FLIR is going to be wonderful in capturing that experience. My What will be a terrible experience for me, but will be great content for everybody else. But yeah, we're basically that'll be a fun one to see in thermal vision.
Sounds scary.
Yeah, but you know, it's fine. So I think that'll be a really fun one. Because I've never seen you see it in movies, but I've never seen it in real life. Like for the sake of science, someone going through that and actually capturing the footage in a way that can really show how the object, the water, which will be like around me, then brings down, like takes the heat from my body. And we'll be able to actually capture that with a FLIR camera, which I'm so excited for.
Yeah.
Not to do it, but I'm excited for afterwards when I get to watch the footage.
Well, we're excited to be working with you again on season 2. So definitely stay tuned for that. Could You Survive the Movies is out now. You can catch up on season 1 if you haven't watched it before. So definitely check that out. And I will definitely promote Invisible Labs as well. If you like more science and educational content from FLIR, check out Invisible Labs with Craig Beals. It's a really fun program. We've got more episodes for that coming out in January as well, and hopefully gonna do one of these with Craig Beals soon. So stay tuned for that. So thank you all for watching. Congratulations to our winners, and just a reminder: just send us a DM or email us at social@flir.com, and we'll get those codes out to you. But yeah, thank you, Jake. Thanks again for your time, and thank you all for watching.
Of course, thanks for having me.
All right, see you guys.
Bye.